Because it's a leap year, you just know I had to watch 29 things in the 29 days of February. That was totally planned. I honestly don't know what happened in February. I don't know how I managed to watch so many things. And it's so strange because I watched like some of the best things I've ever seen and then some of the worst. Like there was kind of like no middle balance between it. And let's just start off with the rewatches and get them all out of the way. So first I rewatched Last Night in Soho, and this was just as good as the first time I watched it. I'm gonna put it in great. No, I'm gonna put it in the best. I really like the main characters' performances in it, and it's spooky, it's thrilling, it's quite funny. I like this like 60s vibes. I like the London aesthetic. Then we have Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I think this is a great film. I liked it as much as the first time that I watched it, but kind of like a little bit less, probably because like I've heard all the jokes, I've seen where it all goes. I'm really excited for like its sequel for Frozen Empire, I think it's called, because that looks, the trailer I've seen for it looks really scary. So I filmed a reaction to Afterlife to kind of complete my Ghostbusters reactions on the channel. I'll leave a link up here for when I post it. And then I rewatched Bottoms, and me and this film is having like a love-hate relationship. Loads of people like are loving this film and raving about it, and I thought I was going to be in the same category as those people. But like I didn't see as much as the hype, and I thought because of the circumstances around me watching it for the first time, that I thought when I rewatch it with my sisters that I'll probably enjoy it a lot more. I rewatched it with one of them and I think it's a good film. I think it's a good comedy film, and like I just don't get it. Whenever I watch people's reactions to the film, I love it way more than watching the film itself, because I don't know, maybe I just like their commentary on it. I think it is funny. I think some parts are a little slow though, but it really picks up where it just goes so weird at the end. And then I rewatched The Proposal, which I think is okay. I like Ryan Reynolds and I like Sandra Bullock as the two leads. Like they're really fun, they're really funny, but I don't... And then I watched like the worst thing I've probably ever watched in my life. It's a franchise of 5 films. I had seen the first 2 films before, so I only rewatched them for the second time in February and then continued the franchise. And I'm going to talk about them all as if they was one film, because they are literally the same thing. I don't even know, they have different titles. So it's the After franchise. And I'll actually tell you, the 4th film, let me see what it's called. What is it called? After Ever Happy, the 4th one, was kind of, there was like the last like 20 minutes of the film was tolerable. All the other films and the rest of that film was just the worst thing I've ever seen. Their relationship between Hardin and Tessa is so toxic, and I just hate it, because they always just solve all their problems with sex. There's more sex in this than there is in the 50 Shades franchise. I don't know how they made 5 films of this, I really don't. And then moving on, we have Eat, Pray, Love. And this film is okay-ish. The narration in the beginning was kind of jarring. I felt like she was going to narrate the whole film, but she didn't. She just comes like again in narrations like throughout different parts. And she really did eat, she really did pray, and she really did love. My favourite part of the film was probably the eating part, the eating section, because she goes to 3 different countries to learn, to like do these 3 different things. So I liked when she was in Italy showing all the different food, and I can see that this can be a quite comforting film for people, because it's her trying to discover who she is like at this stage in her life. And I feel like after watching the film I might enjoy the book more. And then Beautiful Boy was okay-ish. The only thing I liked about this film was Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet, because, you know, they're both good actors. But I did find the film quite boring. It's a true story. It's based on a series of memoirs from the father and son relationship. But I don't think it's a topic that I'm quite interested in, and not something I could connect with topic-wise or the film. But something I did really connect with on like a spiritual level, I don't even know if... I thought like I would kind of like this film, but I absolutely loved it, and that is Cha Cha Real Smooth, the best. Andrew, I don't even know how old he is. Oh no, I have it right here. He's a 22-year-old Me. He's looking for jobs. Me. I found a job now. But I just connected with him on a spiritual level. I just felt my soul intertwining with his soul. He's so much fun and he's so funny and he's such a great like son, brother, friend. I don't know what, a party starter if that's his job, but he's just so much fun. Dakota Johnson is hilarious opposite him. I love his friendship that he has with her daughter. It's just such a good film and I will forever love it. I love it. I think it's so funny and it's so cute, and I cried 3 different occasions with the ending. So you know it's a good film. And I've now just realised that I wasn't screen recording that whole time. And then the Broken Hearts Gallery I thought was good. I like the dynamic between the 2 leads. I think they're quite charismatic. It was really funny. It was really cute. And I just love the general concept of the Broken Hearts Gallery, where like everyone has like these things they've kept from past relationships, which they then like take to this gallery. And it's kind of like them like letting go of that relationship, but kind of remembering that moment that they had. Brother Bear! Oh, brother. This film is great. I just love old school Disney 2D animation. They need to bring it back, but I know we're in this new wave of 3D animation and everything beyond that. But there's just something just about old Disney which is so nostalgic. Even if you didn't grow up watching that film, but then watched it, it's so good. And this one was actually a rewatch. But a rewatch that I haven't seen this film in like 17 years. I watched it when I was like a baby. But it's such a good film. I have a reaction on my channel of it. And I cried. And Phil Collins. I'll leave it at that. Phil Collins. Another series of reactions I have on my channel is the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Is it so weak of me to put all 3 of them in the top category? All 3 of them. I know my 3rd reaction isn't on the channel yet. It's coming very soon. It's like half edited. That's the next video after this, so look out for that. And spoiler warning for the 3rd one, I cried. Spoiler warning for the 2nd one, I cried. And the 1st one, I teared up. It's such a good trilogy to follow Hiccup and Toothless. I'll talk about Hiccup first. To see him grow into the man that he becomes is such a good journey to take us on. And then Toothless is the most adorable best friend out there. I love their friendship. The thing I love most about these films is the friendship and bond between Hiccup and Toothless, and it's just so cute because they care so much about each other. It's just such a good, it's so good. It's so good. I don't know what my favourite one out of the 3 is. I know loads of people love the 2nd one. I think story-wise my favourite one is probably the 1st one. But feels-wise, I just think the ending of the 3rd film is so wholesome and such a good ending for the franchise as a whole. And you want to know something else that I just absolutely loved, and it was like the best thing I watched in February? Jaws 3D. I haven't even seen the 2nd Jaws film. This one was just on like one of you know those like late TV channels. I can't remember what it was. It was like Film 4 or something. And there was one moment right at the end where it happened and I was like, what the heck is this CGI effect? Like, what is these special effects? What are we doing? And then I realised it's Jaws 3D and it was meant to be 3D. And I could totally see how it'd be 3D. But that's just that one effect at the end, what they do with the shark. Which made this memorable. I actually like the concept where it's a shark infiltrates SeaWorld. That's such a cool concept. Like, that could wreak havoc. That could be so bad. And in terms of the film was just bad. And then something else that I like will always think is a really cool concept is like the screen life genre, or like I don't know what it's called, but it's where the film is like filmed entirely through like screens. And that is Missing. I've seen Searching, which where Missing is kind of like a standalone sequel to. It's kind of in like the same universe, kind of. And I think this film was great. I love the mystery of it because Searching is a man trying to find his daughter, where this is a daughter trying to find her mum. And there are so many twists in it. And at the end, it does get a bit too crazy and a bit too wild. It's a wild story to begin with because there's so many twists that makes you think, oh, it's going down this direction, it's going to be this person, but then like twists again. I think it was quite cool, and especially where, you know, you have like your computer screen, you have like your phone screen, but how they like travel people to like different locations and stuff like that, because it's like she's like in her house and then she like goes to a different place. I think it's really cool. There's also a character that helps her out to like help solve the mystery, and he's the best. I think his name's Harvey or Javier. He's the best. Clouds of Sils Maria. No, I'll put it in okay. I really like Kristen Stewart's character, and I felt her character with the main character, I thought it was just going to go somewhere completely different. I half expected them to get together in the end, but they didn't. So the main character used to be an actress, like, or was this main character in a play, which they're going to put on again, but this time she's playing, like, the character she's played's mum, and there's this new up-and-coming actress who's then playing the role she used to have. Throughout the film, she's just rehearsing her new role, and it's obviously a reflection on like what the play is about. It's like how she's feeling in real life and stuff. I thought it was okay. It was so boring though. I probably wouldn't watch it again. I'm actually gonna put it in. I'd probably watch all these other films over that one. And then a film I immediately want to rewatch is Nimona. That was probably one of the best films I watched in February, and it's probably going to be one of my favourite films of the year. And funny enough, it's got Chloe Grace Moretz in it, and she is the young actress in Clouds of Sils Maria. But she is great as Nimona. I love the character of Nimona because she's so like evil. She's so like dark and chaotic and messy, but then over the course of the film she develops into a little less that, even though that is just her, that is just who she is. But I love her friendship with Ballister because it's so hilarious, and obviously it's not one that they want in the beginning, or at least he doesn't want, but it turns into something which is so cute. And this film is kind of building up to something really deep and heartbreaking, because Nimona is a monster and she's seen as a monster, but she just wants to be accepted in society. She just wants to have a friend, she just wants to be loved, and it turns into something so sad, mixed with the visuals, that I almost cried. My eyes were tearing up, but oh, it's just so heartbreaking. It was such a good film, and I also just love the futuristic, like, medieval setting, because they're knights. But it's like set in the future. You got these like spaceships roaming around or whatever, but they're knights. I really liked it. And I don't know if this is going to get me any hate. It's definitely an unpopular opinion, but one of the new movies, 2024 releases that I watched was Madam Web. And I think this film was great. Suck it. I totally agree with everyone's opinions on this film. I can see that it is a bad film. And I'm not saying I think this film was so good because it was so bad. I do also think this was a good film. Dakota Johnson, I just love her. You can see I love her. She's in Charles Real Smooth. I think she's so funny, and the more interviews I watched of her talking about Madam Web, the more I wanted to watch it, even though I was also hearing everyone's opinions of why it's such a bad film. I watched this film and I thought it was great. I thought she was great. I thought the three girls were great. Some of the logic in this film. She goes to Peru or something. She goes to the Amazon apparently within a day, or they give her like a week break to go discover things and then come back to the main plot of the film. That I thought was stupid. But I really like the visuals of the scene. I like how they show her visions and how it like kept going back. Her web connects us all. And because everyone was saying that, oh my god, this film is even worse than Morbius, kind of makes me want to see Morbius, because I thought that film was so bad that I never wanted to watch it. But I loved Madam Web. It is iconic. One of my biggest questions about this film though, because obviously I do know why it is a bad film. Why did they get Emma Roberts in it for like, I don't know, not even 1 minute? Why did they get Emma Roberts, who is like a big actress, or at least I would say bigger than this role that she got? I don't see them doing a Madam Web 2. or any kind of cohesive Sony Marvel universe. That's not ever going to exist. But I would love a Man on Web 2. I loved it. I don't care what the haters say. And let's just talk about the TV shows that I watched. So I first watched Defending Jacob, and I think it's a good show. I was definitely loving it more in the beginning than at the end, because I like the mystery aspect of, did Jacob do it? Did Jacob kill that boy? And then as it slowly like revealed itself towards the end, I wasn't enjoying it so much. I can see like reasons why some people would really like this show, but it just got a bit too much. In the end, I'm remembering one distinct moment that happens between the mum and son that was just too much for me personally. So it really fell off towards the end, but I liked the mystery aspect in the beginning. And then I watched Platonic, which is Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. Kind of a similar dynamic to them in Bad Neighbours, and I enjoyed both the Bad Neighbours films, so I really liked the dynamic between the two. And I thought it was a good show, nothing too spectacular and out there. The best moments in this film was whenever these two characters were together, because they're so fun together and they have such a funny dynamic. And you know, it really showed a good friendship between, it's platonic, you know, a guy and a girl can be friends. And then The Crowded Room, which I had no intention of watching really, but Tom Holland is currently or about to start his role in Romeo and Juliet on the West End. We couldn't get tickets to it, so I was like, okay, let me try and get a Tom Holland fix from somewhere else. Let's watch The Crowded Room. And I thought this was a great show. First off, people should know this, Tom Holland is a great actor and he is versatile. He can do different roles. Yes, he's in the superhero and action films, but he done, was it Cherry? I haven't seen that. If I'm trying to think correctly of what that film is, where he kind of plays different characters, or it's the same character but different stages in his life, so he's kind of different. The Crowded Room is similar to that, where he, oh, I don't know if that's a spoiler. He shakes it up a little bit. Saying that, probably my favourite episode from the show was the one where we follow Madeline Seyfried's character, because I've found it really interested in following her, like her psychological studies. But yes, this is again like a mystery similar to Defending Jacob. Oh, it kind of is the same thing, finding out whether he did it or not, like what's going on there. And how this film ended was so hopeful, it almost made me tear up, because I really like hopeful endings with situations like this. And I don't want to say, because I don't know how this film was advertised, so I don't know how much they were telling people before like you watch the show, so I don't want to say too much about it without giving out spoilers. But with what his character is and like what this show is about, I just found the ending really hopeful and I really enjoyed it. The Magician's Elephant, it was okay-ish. I can't really remember that much about it. All I know is that it was cute. I wanted to tear up a little bit, but other than that, like the film was okay. I'm trying to remember who the main character's voice, who he's voiced by, because it is someone that is in something, but I can't remember. Oh, and then A Man Called Otto. I'm stuck between great and the best. I'm going to put it in the best because it's Tom Hanks. I love every single thing that he's in. I can't tell you right now off the top of my head what my favourite Tom Hanks film is, because so many of them are so great. I haven't even like scratched his discography. I didn't say that right. But he's so good in this, and the whole supporting cast were great, but also I love the whole supporting cast because each individual character is so unique and kind of plays a different role in Otto's life. Tom Hanks, Otto, is just a grumpy old man, but underneath that hard, tough exterior, he's a heart of gold. He's so deeply caring, whether he hates to admit it or not. And like, this film was also quite funny just because of like kind of that grumpy dynamic with some very cheerful neighbours, but also with like kind of some of the editing, like it would cut from him helping someone, just doing something, to a scene of him doing, I don't want to say what, because I don't know if that is a spoiler. Again, I don't know how this was advertised, but it would just cut to him trying a different form of something. If you've seen the film, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But also So, you know, it was fun seeing this fun dynamic. It was funny because of that dynamic. But again, deeply sad. There was 2 separate occasions where I did cry. They're kind of close together, but it's just, it was a good film. I'm terrible at talking about films because I don't ever say like what the film is other than, yeah, it's really funny, it made me cry. I will never be a film critic. And if you don't know this about me, I am a die-hard rom-com girly. I've already spoken about one rom-com and I didn't like it as much. So that wouldn't seem like that is the case. And with the next 2 I'm going to talk about, it's gonna sound the same. I keep seeing like articles about, oh my god, are rom-coms dead? And then recently I've just been seeing rom-coms are on the rise, upgraded, Players, Anyone But You. Other ones that have come out, I haven't seen Anyone But You. But I have seen Upgraded and Players. And I'll talk about Upgraded first. This is the worst. Where was the rom and where was the com? It was probably like 2% com, 1% rom, 97% just a girl doing her job, wanting to rise in her job. And I'm so confused because everyone's like, oh my god, this film is so good. It's a good film for the premise of a girl like trying to like get upgraded in her job. She gets upgraded to 1st class and then she's then trying to get upgraded in like the rest of her life. Like that's a good premise, but as a premise of a rom-com, the guy was irrelevant. Look, you can hardly see him in the poster. And then Players, and in this one I would say it was okay. It has a really good cast. I'm pretty sure I've seen all of them in something else and I find them all funny. And so their dynamic was good. But again, maybe I don't love rom-coms as much as I think I do. Because I like the concept of players. They run plays trying to hook up with people. I think that's a fun dynamic. You literally, do you even see it? There's voiceover in the beginning credits of them like running plays, so you hardly see it. Apart from I guess the main play that they run to try and get the main character to get with someone. That's one play. But they're players. I thought I was going to see them all playing, running plays trying to hook up with people. But it wasn't that. But it was slightly funnier than Upgraded, and that's why it is slightly higher. But that is all 29 things that I watched in February, and honestly, I am saying it now, Cha Cha Real Smooth and Nimona are highly likely to be in my top films of this year. Because they were so good. So good. And How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is fantastic, obviously. And you know, Madam Web is probably the best 2024 film I've seen. I only watched 3 this month, that and then the last 2 rom-coms that I spoke about. What was your favourite thing that you saw in February? Because that is it for everything that I watched in February. Let me know if you want me to continue doing videos like this. But thanks for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe for more for my reaction of How to Train Your Dragon 3 that is coming next. It's a good one. But thanks for watching. Bye.